Hey guys, what's going on? It is the Sheriff with another Watcher Realms video, and today we are going to be taking a look at gear cleansing. We're going to be looking at gear cleansing for my main account, which is very endgame. The only stage that I have not beaten is this last stage of the epilogue. Other than that, I have beaten everything else in the game. I get Overlord every week, and um, for the Titanic Ruins, I can hit the 30k chest on each one. I really can probably push up to the 50k. That'll be one of my next goals there. Um, but anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it. I'll show you guys what my main method for cleansing is, and then we'll talk about some strategies for mid to late to end game, and then even early game strategies as well. So go ahead and I'll start with um, we'll go over the gear sets, right? So really what I'm looking for at this point for my main heroes is Infernal Roar or Soulbound Arcana. I'm not really looking for anything else at this point except for the tier 3 gear, but I don't I don't have enough of the tier 3 gear that is to make anything actually worth a set, right? I can't even make a single set of the tier 3 gear that's better than Infernal Roar or Soulbound Arcana. So we'll go ahead and here, and this is just going to be a cleansing video. We'll go over upgrading and working on gear in a later video, but we'll go ahead and start with the right side gear here. What I like to do is I like to select all of the DPS sets first. So we'll go Hell's Lament, Soulbound, Infernal Roar, Ageless Wrath. Oh, and I did leave out Ageless Wrath is also a pretty solid set. Definitely not Infernal Roar or Soulbound Arcana level of strength, but Insight, Doom, Wisdom, Night Terror, Hawkeye. And these other sets I do keep. I don't just throw them all out immediately. It is good to throw on kind of like secondary and tertiary characters that do like faction trial stuff, right? I like to keep those guys geared up so that I can just go ahead in the morning and auto my faction trial right away. I don't have to worry about gear swapping every single day for each different faction trial. So first of all, go ahead, once we've selected our gear sets, go ahead, select all of these three primary attributes, right? The flat stats. These are never going to be good. Toss them out. We're also, this is our DPS set, right? So we can get rid of defense bonus, HP bonus. I don't care about rage regen, primary stat on a DPS piece, right? Rage regen is nice as a secondary stat, but primary, you're never going to throw rage regen on a Hex or a Setrum, right? So get rid of that and get rid of healing effect. So now that we've cleared all this out, right, we can keep attack, crit rate, crit damage, and attack speed. And we'll go ahead and sell this. Okay, now we can clear these out. And what I like to do is now that I'm end game, I like to look for three what I consider good secondary stats with a good primary stat. So I go ahead in here and I select attack bonus, right, as my primary. Now to look for three good secondary stats, what we do is we're going to do attack, which is what I consider one of the good ones, and crit rate. Right, so if a piece does not have attack or crit rate, you can see even these pieces that are recommended, right? Crit damage, attack speed. This is not a good enough piece for me, right? Even this one, attack speed, so we get rid of this. Now we'll go down, attack or crit damage. Okay, nothing doesn't fit this. Attack speed. Go ahead and get rid of these. I did lock this piece just because it does have some decent rolls. If I need a piece that has crit damage and crit rate with attack bonus, I will keep that. but honestly, it's not equipped on anyone for a reason. So maybe I will get rid of that one day. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Now we go down here, we'll do crit rate and attack speed, and we'll go ahead and get rid of these. See, even though this one has a thumbs up, right, it's only crit damage and attack. That's not going to be a useful piece for me. And then we'll go ahead here, undo crit rate, do crit damage and attack speed, and we can get rid of this piece. Again, it's a thumbs up, but crit rate, rage read, and attack, it doesn't have crit damage, right? So crit damage or attack speed. So that's kind of not a great piece that we're looking for. I do consider attack speed to be better than rage regen. Out of the 4 kind of good stats, right, attack speed is better than rage regen on most heroes. It does depend. Some really want the rage regen, but as a general rule of thumb, that's how you do it. And the last pairing we're missing is crit rate and crit damage. So check that. Don't have anything that matches this filter. And you'll see what that leaves us with all of these attack percent primaries, right? Attack, attack speed, rage regen, crit damage there. Great piece, right? Attack speed, crit damage, crit rate, crit damage, attack speed, attack. Again, no crit rate, but 3 solid stats, right? All of these are going to have 3 of the good stats, right? This one I've already rolled up, but attack speed, crit damage, attack, you know, so on and so forth. All right, now we're going to take a look at the other 3 primaries. So attack percent is king in this game, so I'm going to select these 3, and we're going to go into attack percent. If a piece doesn't have attack percent, unless it's an ancient piece, I am getting rid of it. Even though this one's got a thumbs up, right? Rage regen, attack speed, crit rate, doesn't matter to me. Doesn't have attack percent, I don't want it. Because this is a crit damage primary, so I really can't have a piece that just doesn't have attack percent on it. All right, we'll go ahead and get rid of these. Okay, now we're gonna go here and we're gonna go by each one of these primaries, right? So we can do attack, crit damage. So piece doesn't have flat attack or crit damage. We're gonna get rid of these. Same thing, crit damage and attack speed, right? Only has attack and flat attack, right? No crit damage there. And then we are missing one. I think it's attack and attack speed, yeah. So this only has crit damage and attack bonus on a crit rate primary. And I'm really not going to be using crit rate primaries. I don't use them too much anymore. I maybe am using 1 or 2 of them, but yeah, they're not super useful. Really, I'm going to be using crit damage and attack bonus as my mains. Attack speed is helpful for certain champions, and it is helpful usually for champions that are good at sticks. So we'll go here, crit damage, and we will do attack primary and crit rate. And so we'll get rid of these. See, this one only has attack speed and attack percent, right? We want 3 good stats. So we'll get rid of this. Attack and attack speed. And again, I rolled this one up probably because I was desperate at one point, but we're getting rid of it. And now, did we do crit rate and attack speed is the last one. And now for our last ones, we just need to do attack speed. So we'll do attack, crit rate. And then we will do attack, crit damage. Oops. And then we'll go ahead and do crit rate, crit damage. And perfect. Okay, so that is the DPS pieces on the right side taken care of. Now, to be honest, for the Guardian set, you can probably go through and set up some pretty decent rules. I don't really have any problems with tanks being tanky, so I just go ahead and go through here. Oh, actually, you know what? Before I do that, we're going to go ahead and unselect this, and we're going to go back through. We forgot to do this earlier. Once we have these selected, we're just going to get rid of these 3 flat stats on everyone. So we'll go ahead and do that. Go here. And we're going to go ahead, take a look at Guardian set. Again, I'm just going to get rid of everything that doesn't have a thumbs up. I'll roll up some of these pieces if they look decent, if I really need tank gear, but my tank gear isn't going to change anytime soon, I don't think. Now, this Slepius, I just sell everything that isn't an ancient. To be honest, I don't need the extra healing effect. The max HP plus 10% is kind of nice, but there's other sets that are better on my healers. Because usually they're going to be an Invig or a morale set. So we'll go ahead here. I'm going to leave my morale sets just because I don't have too much, and usually if I want to throw morale on someone, it's not necessarily a healer. Usually it's kind of an auxiliary character that I need, maybe like a Volca, right, to kind of boost up my team. And just having that morale set on while she's in, maybe while she's getting rotated in on guild boss or something, is nice and beneficial. So just having the extra pieces for me is good. Unshaken Will and Tempered Will, kind of same rule as the Guardian set. I'm just going to get rid of everything that doesn't have a thumbs up. And then we'll go here to Invig. Again, Invig's pretty tough to kind of rule out. I don't like ruling everything out. You really, if you get rid of everything that isn't a thumbs up, it does a pretty good job, right? Because you probably want everything that has attack percent, HP percent, attack speed, and healing main stat, just for different situations on your healers. And now we did this Slepius gear already. And I probably shouldn't, but I do get rid of all of my Glacier gear except for my Ancients. Alright, and that is the basic kind of first cleanse here, right? So all of my gear is ready to get rolled up right now. We've got some decent pieces. We don't have too much of this kind of these quote-unquote bad sets. Most of it is going to be either Wisdom, Insight, or our Tier 2 sets. Alright, and let's go ahead and take a look at the left side now. So I'm not quite as good at left side gear, and I'm pretty lenient on this this Wicked Vengeance gear because it's so much better than the regular crit rate set, the Annihilating Might set, right? Annihilating Might is crit damage plus 35%. This gives you 40% crit damage and 10% attacks, which is much better. But again, we really can't have just crit rate and attack speed here. So I am a little bit more lenient on this gear, but I do kind of go by whether or not the game gives it a thumbs up, because it is looking for two good stats on it, and it does not count flat attack as a good stat on weapons. Or sorry, on armor pieces. Okay, but we'll go ahead here, go into Warlord, Whirlwind, Calamity, Annihilating Might. And we're going to kind of go with the same idea here, but it's going to be a little bit different because weapons and armor can't roll the exact same secondary stats as each other. So it's not going to be quite as easy as the right side gear. But again, we're going to go ahead here, look for attack bonus because we always want attack bonus on our gear. I am going to get rid of everything that doesn't have attack bonus except for my Ancients, just because they always have 3 pretty good stats and they have a higher chance to roll high stats. Okay, and we'll go ahead here, and now we're just going to look at weapons. So again, obviously a weapon always going to have flat attack as the main, so you can't roll flat attack as a secondary. Weapons can also not roll crit damage. They can roll it on an Ancient, but they can't roll it on a regular piece of gear. So if you want a piece with crit damage, you're just getting rid of everything that isn't an Ancient, which really you're not going to have enough gear pieces for that. So it can roll up attack speed though, right? So you can have pieces that have attack speed. If we switch this out to an armor piece is the opposite, right? It cannot have attack speed unless it's an Ancient, but I believe it can have crit damage. Yeah. So that's why we need to roll these up separately. So we'll go back to weapons. We're going to be looking for, we already checked for attack bonus, we're going to be looking for crit damage or crit rate. Go here, get rid of all these pieces that don't have it, or that don't have either, I should say. Oh, and I'm sorry, I did just make a mistake there. I just said you don't want to be checking. So obviously crit damage, that was a mistake. I should have done crit rate or attack speed. And I am going to get rid of, I would have gotten rid of all of these right here. And that is about as far as you can go, right? You can't roll rage regen, you can't roll crit damage, so your weapons are just not gonna have quite as good of stats unless they're Ancients. So you gotta be a little bit more lenient on them, right? Attack speed, attack bonus, and crit rate is phenomenal. But something like this, right? You've just got attack and crit rate. You might just have to roll with that because it's gonna be really, really hard unless you get an Ancient to get 3 solid stats. Like if we look at sorry, what was this? Attack bonus, attack speed, and crit rate. Right, I've got this many pieces that have all of those, which is not very many. All right, and now we'll go over here. And again, these can roll up crit damage, but they cannot roll attack speed. So we're going to do crit damage and crit rate. If you don't have either one of those, you're getting out of here. And now we're going to be looking at, even though this piece doesn't have a thumbs up, right, it's got attack bonus and crit damage bonus, which is good, especially for an Annihilating Might set, because it means you're probably looking for crit damage. And again, these really can only roll up with 2 decent stats, right? You can get flat attack on these, so sometimes if I feel like I have a lot of chest pieces, I can go ahead and I'll go ahead and filter with attack as well. And we can get rid of these 3 because you can just roll more stats on this, since you can't roll flat attack on a weapon, right? So we'll go here and then we'll go here for crit rate, right? This only has attack and crit rate. And we have already done crit rate and attack speed, or sorry, crit rate and crit damage. So now all of our pieces will have quote unquote 3 good stats, right? If you want to count attack as a good stat. And that is basically the way I go ahead and cleanse my gear. Actually, you know, we'll go real quick. Salvation, I don't care about at all. I'll keep these Ancients just because I have too hard of a time selling my Ancients. Again, Life Force, I get rid of all of these. I have so much tank gear and I have so little need for tank gear. Immortal Warrior does a great job, and you can see all of these pieces that I have that I haven't even rolled up yet. I really haven't needed tank gear. Oh, you know what? We forgot about this. Here we go. Go ahead and get rid of both of these. Um, yeah, I mean, I have so much Immortal Warrior that I have to roll up just with these thumbs up here. And I just don't need it. I already have, you know, 6 or 7 great tanks, and they're all already geared out. And I haven't had the need to re-gear really any one of them except for, you know, my Olog when I got when I was like level 30, and he started dying to some of the later end content. Re-geared him, you know, a long time ago, and haven't had any problems. So yeah, you'll see we started with a little over 1,000 pieces. We're down to 691. We've got 145 of these that we can roll up, and right side pieces we've got 181 to roll up. And you can see a lot of this has already been rolled. I probably need to go through my gear that's been rolled up and get rid of it. Like this one's not a great piece. And you know, same with this, you know, no purple rolls or anything on that. I'm probably never going to use this gear. I should get rid of it. But that is for another video. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please like it. And if you're looking forward to more content, please subscribe. Thanks.